A gas explosion in a coal mine in Iran killed dozens of people and injured at least 20 more. That's according to Iran's state media on Sunday. It added that the accident, which it said happened in the South Khorasan province, was a methane explosion and took place in 2 blocks of a mine run by the Madanju company. Rescue efforts in the first block have been completed and operations in the second block have started. The governor said that methane density in the block is high and the operation will take around 3 to 4 hours. State TV reported that there were 69 workers in the blocks at the time of the explosion. President Masoud Pezeshkian expressed condolences to the victims' families, saying the government would learn lessons from the incident.
With a paddle in hand, Antal Alega set off in his boat down the flooded streets of Baia, Hungary on Sunday. He says this kind of flooding is unprecedented for his village, located about 100 miles south of Budapest.
It has never happened before that there are 3 floods in 1 year. Experts say this is the consequence of global warming and the extreme weather.
Over the past week, floods have wreaked havoc across Central Europe, leaving a trail of destruction from Romania to Poland. In Budapest, drone footage of the Danube River showed several submerged jetties. The river is forecasted to reach higher than 27 feet, near record levels, but still below those seen in 2013. The swollen river has caused widespread damage, including further north in Nagy Moros. Here, farmer Laszlo Batki wades through what's left of his plot. He says most of it is underwater, ruining the crops of organic tomatoes, peppers, radishes, and lettuce he was preparing to harvest. Despite the damage, he told Reuters he thinks he can take steps, such as switching to more traditional crops, to adapt to more frequent floods in the years to come.
Australia is suing its 2 largest supermarket chains for allegedly misleading shoppers about discounts on hundreds of items. The country's competition watchdog filed separate lawsuits against Coles and Woolworths on Monday for breaching consumer law. The chair of Australia's Competition and Consumer Commission, Gina Cass-Gottlieb, says the discount prices appeared to be an illusion.
We allege that Woolworths and Coles offered the products at regular long-term prices for 6 months or more, then increased the price for a short period before placing the products on the Woolworths Prices Dropped promotion or the Coles Down promotion at prices higher than or the same as the prior regular price.
The ACCC says it's seeking unspecified penalties. It did say that potential fines for breaches of consumer law can hit either the equivalent of $34 million, 30% of turnover during the wrongdoing, or 3 times the benefit gained. Woolworths said in a statement it will review the Commission's claims and continue to engage with it. Coles said it takes compliance with Australian consumer law seriously and would defend the case. The allegations against the supermarket brands come as Australians deal with the cost of living crisis with rising interest rates, housing prices and energy bills. On Monday, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said that if the allegations are true, they are completely unacceptable.
This is not the Australian spirit. Customers don't deserve to be treated as fools by the supermarkets. They deserve much, much better than that. My government takes today's announcement by the ACCC very seriously.
Shares of Woolworths and Coles were down as much as 4% in trading after the news.
New polls released over the weekend showed U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris leading her Republican rival Donald Trump in the race for the White House. An NBC News poll released on Sunday found that Harris led Trump by 5 percentage points among the 1,000 registered voters surveyed. The poll, which has a margin of error of 3 percentage points, also showed a significant jump in favorability for the Democratic candidate for president since she emerged as her party's nominee. A separate CBS News poll found Harris leading Trump by 4 percentage points among likely voters, with a margin of error rate of plus or minus 2 percentage points. The findings are broadly in line with other recent national polls, including those by Reuters Ipsos, that show a close contest heading into the November 5th election.
She's not competent to be president.
Trump launched a stream of attacks against Harris at a rally in North Carolina on Saturday and said that he would not do another debate with her.
The problem with another debate is that it's just too late. Voting has already started. She's done one debate, I've done 2. It's too late to do another. I'd love to in many ways, but it's too late. The voting is cast. The voters are out there immediately. Is everybody voting? Please get out and vote.
On Sunday, Harris told supporters at a fundraiser in New York that Trump should accept a proposal from CNN to participate in a debate on October 23rd, after agreeing to the offer for a second matchup in a post on X.
Sri Lanka elected its new president on Sunday, the Marxist-leaning Anura Kumara Dissanayake. The public put faith in his pledge to fight corruption and bolster a fragile economic recovery following its worst financial crisis in decades. Dissanayake led from start to finish during the counting of ballots, polling over 42% of the votes. That's despite not having any political lineage, like some of his rivals in the presidential election. He knocked out incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe and opposition leader Sajit Premadasa to become Sri Lanka's 10th president. The election was also a referendum on Wickremesinghe. He led the heavily indebted nation's fragile economic recovery from a meltdown in 2022. But the austerity measures that were key to this recovery hindered his bid to return to office. He finished third with 17% of the vote. Premadasa, in second place, got almost 33%. This election marked the first time in Sri Lanka's history that the presidential race was decided by a second round of counting. That's after the top 2 candidates failed to win the mandatory 50% of votes to be declared winner.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz appears to have fended off a far-right victory in his home state on Sunday. Early exit polls showed Scholz's Social Democrats, SDP, scored almost 31% of the vote in the Brandenburg state election over Alternative for Germany, AfD, closer to 29%. The SDP has governed Brandenburg, the state that surrounds the capital Berlin, since German reunification in 1990. An AfD win would have been a humiliating blow to Scholz's hopes for a second term. He is already the least popular chancellor on record. However, the victory is unlikely to give Scholz a real boost. There is growing debate within the SDP over whether he is the right person to lead the party into next year's federal election. Critics point to what they say is hesitant leadership and poor communication skills. Brandenburg's popular premier and fellow Social Democrat Dietmar Woidke had distanced himself from Scholz during the campaign. On Sunday, Woidke said despite the victory, the exit polls being so close was alarming.
When
and openly, in big parts, an overall openly right-wing extremist party in our state scores around 30% of votes, it's hugely alarming for all of us, for all Democrats, for everyone who stands up for freedom, openness, and tolerance. Despite all the pride we feel today due to the good result, we must take this seriously. We must continue the debate after this election campaign. Brandenburg only has a chance if Brandenburg remains a liberal-minded and tolerant state.
While Scholz declared the outcome a significant success for his party, they are struggling nationally, polling at just 15% behind the AfD's 20% and the opposition Conservatives at 32%. The election did see an increased voter turnout at 73%, up from 61% in the previous election. But many who voted for the SDP reportedly chose the party to block the AfD rather than out of strong support. Last month, the AfD became the first far-right party to win a state election in Germany since World War II. It has gained traction on anxiety over a cost of living crisis in Europe's largest economy, immigration and a possible escalation of the war in Ukraine.